Science and technology have given us extraordinary progress, but alongside it, they've unleashed new crises: climate catastrophe, broken trust in truth, growing inequality. These are not problems of invention. They are problems of humanity, and the discipline that helps us make sense of them is the social sciences, because social sciences are what humanize our choices. FMT recently sat down with London School of Economics President and Vice-Chancellor Larry Kramer in Kuala Lumpur to discuss how social sciences can help navigate global challenges. Larry, welcome to Chaos. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, it's your second time here, isn't it?
Yeah. I came last year. I hope I can come at least once a year, maybe twice.
Well, you know, as a former LSE student, as an LSE grad, where I spent some of my fondest years, it's really a privilege to be able to welcome you to my home city, and I hope that, you know, we can have an interview which really brings forth the time that you've had at LSE and what you most enjoy about it.
Well, I'm looking forward. I mean, it's a great opportunity for me personally to get to talk to our alumni, but also, to the larger community here. It's really a privilege. So I'm excited to do it and look forward to the conversation.
Well, we'll have a little bit of a chat about maybe a few legal issues, because that's obviously what the both of us share a little bit of, but also about the wider LSE context. Is that all right?
Yeah, that would be great. I love the chance to talk about law and LSE.
Larry, I think LSE has a very special, unique position in the academic world as a university that really focuses on the social sciences. You've spoken at length throughout the course of your career about the challenges that social sciences face. Could you expand a little bit on where we are today in terms of those challenges and what you see the next 10, 20 years bringing?
Sure. So if you think about it, the last 4 or 5 decades have really been, what we would describe as STEM focused, right? Which is, there's been a steady stream of scientific innovations, new breakthroughs, new technologies that have just transformed our lives in amazing ways. They've also generated huge problems. And the upsides and downsides aren't in the technologies themselves. They're all completely in how we use them and how we choose to implement them. And that's what the social sciences are about. So the next couple of decades, I think, are going to have to be social science decades, or we're going to really, really have trouble.
The social sciences don't tell us how to build machines. They tell us how to build societies. This year, for the second year running, British daily The Times and its Sunday Times Good University Guide named the London School of Economics the #1 university in the UK.
Although it's only 130 years old, 130th anniversary this year.
Only.
Well, in universities, that can be, especially in the UK, you've got universities that are 1,000 years old. It's had an incredible impact, both in the intellectual world and in the political world.
The ranking measures more than prestige. It looks at teaching quality, student satisfaction, research, graduate prospects, inclusion, and global impact. In other words, not just knowledge for its own sake, but knowledge that humanizes and improves society.
So universities have a really unique and important role in addressing this, and it really has 4 different kinds of things. First, we are the places where the ideas can be developed. Second, we're educating the next generation of leaders who are going to go out into the world and make this work or not work, for better or worse. Third, we're a place from which ideas can be promulgated out into the society. And then lastly, we're incredibly good places for convening people from all different places. I don't think any institution in society can play them as well as universities have in the past and can today.
Universities are society's testing grounds, where ideas are shaped, challenged, and shared to keep us human.
The challenges that we recognize, at LSE are all built around that recognition, and they're really 5, and they're interlocking. So the future of popular government is one, the future of political economy, doing those first 2 things sustainably within ecological limits that we now know we need to respect. The 4th challenge relates to systemic inequalities. And then lastly is thinking about how we're going to deploy the new technologies themselves.
Democracy, economy, sustainability, inequality, technology. These are not abstract problems. They are human questions about fairness, trust, and how we live together. What role can alumnus play in this cause, in this journey?
So I mean, alumni are the foundation on which it all rests. It's the beginning of your participation in what should be a live and living community that can do good in the world.
From Kuala Lumpur to New York, alumni carry human insight into leadership, shaping governments, economies, and communities. Well, let's turn a little bit to LSE in Southeast Asia, where we are right now. We have the pleasure of welcoming you to KL, I think, which is your second trip.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of insight or background about how Southeast Asian ideas, concepts, research is being really implemented in the LSE framework and how this is going to grow?
Yeah, sure. So, one of the most unique features of LSE compared to any university in the world is the breadth and depth of its international presence. And that's particularly true for South and East Asia. So we have a large alumni community here. We have a large contingent of students from here every year. We have faculty from here, and that's really where the connections take place.
Southeast Asia is more than a region. It is a living example of how societies adapt, humanize, and innovate under pressure. When I started at LSE, I think it was in the autumn of 2010, and I remember I was in the first year of LSE 100. Do you guys still have this course, which is this interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary course across the social sciences?
And problem solving. It's it's an introduction to give people a sense of multidisciplinary work, and
So I think we were a pilot year, or maybe it was the first year or something along these lines, and I found myself being, in a way, surprisingly interested in things like anthropology, geography, which I probably would never, have gotten a chance to study. How important do you think learning about other disciplines and how they interlink and problem solve in the university experience, and how key is it to, young adults flourishing?
We used to think of education as like an L, right? You would go very deep in a single subject. And in the world that you're coming into today, that is not an adequate education. So, I think of education, it needs to be kind of like a T.
LSE 100 shows that real education is not just technical, it is human. It broadens horizons and prepares students to connect across disciplines and lives. The future won't be saved by science alone. It will be saved by how we humanize it. And that is the work of the social sciences. Hannah Khan, FMT.